Hello, Senior Stoner fan. This is the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro dab of the day. Today is Thursday. Hello, everybody. As always, if you enjoy the video, you know what to do. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic, something that affects and occurs all the time to everyone. I want to talk about miscommunication. That's right. And why it happens. So when we see it happening, or it's happening to us, or we do it, maybe we can do a little better next time. Here we go. Well, did you know there's implicit and explicit communication? You know, if you imply something, it means you're trying to kind of meander and not go direct to the point. You're explicit, it means you're going to say exactly what you mean, often regardless of the consequences. Miscommunication comes from misalignment of explicit and implicit terminology between the sender and the receiver. Often there's tension and politeness on one side, and in another end there might be commands and somebody's telling somebody to do something, or the perception is there. So communication that's not clear is called miscommunication. Well, when you write something down, instead of talk on the phone, if you text it or email it or send it a letter or write yourself a note that it happened, you're more likely to remember it happened. And you know what else? You're more likely to be able to recall that information at a later date. So you rely less on focus and memory of the listener and more on what you put aside. You want to think also that sometimes people have what's called competitive conversation. That means two strangers are trying to vie for for another person's attention in a situation. If you're in a situation, and you've seen it before, in sometimes business, you have a subordinate to a superior situation, where there are often competitive conversations going on, where people are trying to make their point. There's a downside to this, obviously, and your ego is often invested in your argument. Not recommended, because you're not able to change your mind without losing your face. Your ego won't let you do it. We all come with something called negativity bias when we have a conversation. It's our mind's tendency to think of the unsure as a negative, to think as ambiguity as a negative. Now, most people, when they walk into a dark room, think the golden banana is going to be there, the golden goose, the golden whatever, pile of gold. I walk in, I think I'm going to have trouble. Where's the problem? Where's the pain going to come from? So it depends how you see the world, but everybody has a negativity bias in their life. And it's especially pervasive when you write things. And what you have to remember is that you want to try to have a positive emoji when you're writing, so you're not misinterpreted, no matter what your upbringing was or what the background is to the situation. You have to also remember that miscommunication occurs because people don't listen and people don't speak the proper way. People have poor listening skills simply because they don't remember God gave them two of these and one of these. You listen, or you should listen, more than you speak in most social situations. Just the way it is. And poor speaking skills isn't the inability to stand up like I did in front of a 1,000-person audience in award ceremonies and speak. That's not what it's about. That's sometimes simply about not muttering to oneself in front of groups and being able to engage and have eye contact with those you're speaking with. You see, you don't have to be a superstar to have good speaking skills and good listening skills, because a lot of the miscommunication, a lot of the poor skills are simply misaligned lingo, it's called. It's the inability to be able to focus and get aligned with exactly what you need to say, where you need to say it. And you know what? That happens to a lot of people. And because of that, there's tremendous amount of miscommunication. You're getting up enough courage to go in and tell your father that the car accident happened, wasn't your fault, but they're going to think it is anyway. And you're going in, it just can't come out of your mouth. Okay? That can happen. All right? Or you can say, and it goes, and maybe you'll be able to say it, but you won't be able to say it. And so that's the part of this implicit and this inability to go straight at the problem. You know, the best way to solve problems, unfortunately, is as the crow flies, which is straight at it, a straight line. And the best way to speak to people is straight. Try not to take the meandering curve. Try to say what you mean and mean what you say. Try to be able to deliver on the things you say. You know, it's always been important to me to be what I am and kind of own it. And I think that's critical as we get older. But one thing I want to make sure people understand is that everyone communicates in a different way. If it's your way to communicate by singing, by golly, sing. If it's your way to communicate by telling poetry, tell poetry. If it's your way to communicate, no matter what the individual way it is, please keep communicating. It's important for human life, for us, to communicate with other people. So, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for watching. These are Ganja Candy Factory diamonds. I'm looking forward to this hit to share with you with my Puffco Peak Pro, old reliable. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Cheers. And remember, try to speak to the person about whatever topic you're talking about. Cheers, everybody.